Backstage in the Peg, our fifth and final episode in the summer season. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the show. Karen Taylor Hughes has been the CEO of Winnipeg Harvest for the past 2.5 years. Coming from a background of working in child and family services and healthcare, she has dedicated her life to giving back to those most vulnerable. I sat down with her to talk about her thoughts around leadership and how that plays into her work at Winnipeg Harvest.
My philosophy around leadership is you're in the trenches and you're working alongside, and together we can move a mission forward. And I found my work in child welfare, my work working in healthcare as a consultant around leading change, and now to my work with Harvest, it's all the same. The same skill sets. I've been problem solving, I've been supporting, moving from one step to the other. And that's what we're doing at Harvest. We have a great organization. It's been around as of July 1st, 35 years in Manitoba, serving Manitobans, coming through our most challenging time ever, which is COVID, and we're still not through it yet. So having to be a leader at a great, iconic, well-known organization that is really beloved by Manitobans. And I can say that because I've seen the outpouring or inpouring and influx of food and funds, especially during our most challenging time. So I know that. So I'm thinking that if they understand that that's how I view what we do here, is we are serving Manitobans, and my job is to serve my staff, our volunteers, our food bankers, to help better everyone else's life. To me, this is my journey, and it's all come to a place where I can put everything I've ever learned in one spot and be able to live my principles.
Wow, that's amazing. So talk to me a little bit about what the Harvest is doing during the time of COVID.
We worked really tirelessly and still do to ensure that we have lots of protocols for safety. So in doing all of those things, we locked our doors. We don't see clients on site anymore. We moved to a hamper model, and we supported schools that were doing hamper models with food support. And then now we've just started, actually this week, July 6th, we started our Breakfast to Go Summer Edition pop-up. So it's like 5 schools around the city where we know there's a huge need for food support. And we are providing with a Breakfast to Go kit, which is very simple breakfast items children can put together themselves with some snacks, with some fruit and vegetables, and a book. Every week we'll go to the same site for 16 weeks. So every child that shows up will get this bag they can go home with, and at least we know they're getting a good healthy breakfast and some snacks throughout the day, and they'll get that until the end of September. So we just launched that, and it's going really well.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We are working on a mega musical called Mabuhay Musical, Filipinos Singing for Their Lives, and it's being produced by Rainbow Stage here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Our mandate is to create a show to provide opportunity for the 8.9% of Filipinos that live in Winnipeg, which is the highest per capita in North America, and we want to provide opportunity for Filipinos that are arts-loving people. A little bit about our show.
Yeah, it's about 3 young Filipinos entering a singing competition for their own reasons. It really tackles a lot about self-identity, poverty, sexuality, themes about religion, and all that fun stuff under this whole karaoke themed musical that's just a lot of fun and really teaches you a lot of lessons about life and being Filipino. Our journey has been very unconventional. I feel like we have been constantly just figuring things out on the go, constantly innovating, constantly trying to make things work our way. Joseph and I don't have a lot of professional training, but we do have a very big vision. And as long as we put our hearts and our minds and our trust in ourselves and also the people that we are graciously working with, I feel like we can achieve anything.
Yeah, exactly what Josh said. We are the composers, lyricists, and writers, self-made. We had to start from somewhere, and we're proud we did, because we attracted all the mentors and all the help that we need going into our 3rd draft. We've written 24 plus songs, and our goal is just to send out the message to people that if you have a vision and it's to serve the people around you, your fellow human. Go do it. Don't question your education. Don't question your background. Write what you know and start today.
Joseph Sevilla brings 23 years of musical theater experience as a performer, teacher, and choreographer. He mentors Josh Caldo, a recent graduate of Daniel McIntyre Collegiate Institute.
Hi, I'm Ari Weinberg, and this is The Punchline, where I toss headlines from previous editions of the Winnipeg Free Press to actors and/or comedians, and they improvise the articles. I'm here with Quinn Joseph, one of the writers of the award-winning fringe comedy hit The Cause, and Jane Testar of the beloved comedy troupes Hot Thespian Action and Outside Joke. Jane, your headline is, "Hello, sorry, I have an owl in my hair." 30 seconds on the clock, go.
This was way back, probably just about the turn of the century, about the early 1900s. And so hats were really big. Everyone had a hat. You just didn't not wear a hat. It just wasn't done. But a trend that women had was decorating these hats. And then it was always about one-upmanship of like, oh, I got the finest ribbon shipped from Chicago. This woman, Tracy McDermott of the McDermott fortune, got herself a live owl and had it sewn to the hat. And it caused a huge stir. People were both jealous and horrified by it. And then it escaped and attacked another woman's hat because she had mice on her hat. The owl in her hat. So then she had to do this whole public apology and give a little settlement to the mouse hat woman, and it was quite a thing.
Wow. But yeah. So the moral of the story is don't sew live owls to your hat.
I mean, now it seems so simple, but back then, who knew?
Who knew? Wonderful. Well,
who knew?
Who knew? Thank you for sharing. Quinn, your headline is "Get to know your onions." 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, so this was a really interesting situation. It was actually very recently. It was in 1958, I believe, and they had, like the dog whisperer or like the horse whisperer. So there was a famous chef, and he was from Winnipeg, and he did this very long-running television program. It also was adapted into a radio play and a Broadway musical, and it was called Get to Know Your Onions. And the idea was almost like a self-help situation where he devised a strategy to get wisdom and advice from onions if you got to know them a little bit first. So, you marinate them a little, you saute them a little, they might get a little friendly with you and help you out down the road,
Oh my gosh, yes, I do. I remember seeing the Act 1 finale on Broadway, the Vidalia line. It was very impactful. Fun facts. Jane, your headline was from June 30th, 1996. And Quinn, your headline was from January 23rd, 1963. There you have it. Thank you so much for playing The Punchline. And now we'll just sashay over to Katie German.
Thanks, Ari, and welcome to Whiz Kids. On this segment, we're featuring the students of Native Youth Theatre, free acting courses that are geared especially for young Indigenous actors ages 9 to 18. This fan video is a glimpse into some of those classes.
Break free. to living without you by my side. I don't want to live alone. Hey, God knows, got to make it my own. So baby, can't you see? I've got to break free. I've got to break free. I want to break free. Yeah. I want to break.
Recording. Looking forward. And 3, 2, 1. Great. That was perfect.
Nova Corshane is the Assistant Program Director at Native Youth Theatre at MTYP. I sat down with her to discuss the program and to meet one of her students, aspiring filmmaker Darian Sutherland.
Hi, Nova, could you please tell us about Native Youth Theatre?
Sure. So Native Youth Theatre is a free after-school program for Indigenous youth, but it's also open to anybody else who's interested in accessing theatre. We're part of MTYP. We offer some, we go from ages 8 to 18. We offer sort of fundamental theatre theory, and of course lots of game playing, lots of fun. We have a cabaret at the end of the year in March, and we have about 4 or 5 teachers. We try to do a nice mix of Indigenous professionals, including Braden Houle, Darla Contois, and we have 2 instructors that have been with us for the teen film portion of our program, Chris McDonald and Taryn Brenner. So they've been working with Darian as well, who's joining us in the teen filmmaking classes. And yeah, that's what we work on, and it's just really important work that I feel that we're all doing.
Awesome. So, Darian, what are some of the things that are important to you as a creator?
Well, to me, it's my artistic integrity and a lot of the fundamentals that go into writing, and not skipping over quality and at the same time compromising. You got to have a lot of team building when it comes to this sort of stuff, and the Native Youth Theatre is a good way to represent team building.
Awesome. Now, can you tell us a bit about some of your projects?
I have a few projects in mind. I have 4 screenplays finished. I have 2 about acceptance and trying to be a better person and being happy, 1 love story, and 1 just fantasy. You know what I mean? They're all individually called Ian and the Conquest for Happiness, Backwoods, Mr. Lonely, and Misfit Toys.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, you two.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, for one, Chester, you're not my best friend. Let's get the elephant out of the room. You're not my best friend. And 2, how are you going to say you run this school when you're 14, your grades are garbage, and the only person you talk to is me, and you'll probably be applying for college at Walmart?
Hello, friends. I keep hearing people talking about reopening the economy, and I have some thoughts. I mean, part of me wonders if what they're really saying is, let's get the general population working harder and spending more money so the people who are already rich can start getting richer faster again. Call me cynical. But I think we should consider what it means when we're saying, let's reopen the economy. It's the definite article that gets to me, the, as if there's only one economy, as if the COVID time hasn't had its own economy, as if societies of mutual aid are not a valid economic system, as if chilling at home and spending time instead of money, as it were, isn't a legitimate economic choice, as if prioritizing health and safety over productivity has no place in our economic system. As far as I can tell, the economy hasn't stopped. It's just been rejigged. So if reopen the economy is code for business as usual, I think we better think more about what the economy actually is. The word economy literally means household management, and it's the word we use to describe the production and consumption of goods and services within our society. Now, economics, the study of economics, and there isn't actually consensus on whether economics is a legitimate science or not, it's the study of human behavior. Economics is the study of how we make choices around how we will use our resources in the pursuit of a good and happy life. So when someone says something is bad for the economy, you'd think that it would just follow that that means it's bad for people in the pursuit of a good and happy life, but that's not always the case. The economy is evoked as a sort of God that we need to serve with our labor, a deity that demands our sacrifice, an omniscient being that will trickle down benevolent benefit upon us all. It's that definite article again. If we were told something is bad for this economy, then we might assume there's some other economy that might more robustly respond to these circumstances. So let's acknowledge that there's more than one economy. There are many ways of getting and spending. There are many methods of making sure that the amount of work we do and the subsequent benefit that we derive is fair and just and equitable. And let's acknowledge that the way we've been doing it hasn't actually been fair and just and equitable. If economics is the study of how we make choices, then let's actually make some choices and not just defer to the familiar. Because in life, as in art, well-considered choices are the cornerstone of excellence. The most boring performances are the ones where actors fail to make strong choices. So why live a boring life of unexamined assumptions? We are all capable of critical thinking. The COVID economy has revealed the truth of what actually drives our economy. And it isn't investment. It isn't venture capital. It isn't stock market speculation or resource extraction. The gas in the engine of the economic vehicle, the thing that keeps it running strong, is the labor of our bodies. Our vulnerable bodies, our sweet bodies, our soft, warm bodies, our damaged bodies, our perfect bodies, our black, brown, white, red, golden bodies, our striving, sinewy, strong bodies, our weak, trembling, frightened bodies, the bodies that are nourished by the earth, our bodies that were created in our mother's wombs, our bodies that are swaddled and cuddled and cradled and adored and kissed, our bodies that will bring forth generations, our bodies that are the manifestations of our ancestors' dreams. Our bodies are consumed in the engine of the economy. Everything we produce comes from our bodies. And everything we consume is suffused with the bodies and the life energy of other people. We're doing it right now as I work to speak this truth. The labor of my body is being offered to you. Please accept it, consume it, if it will give your body strength. This is the sacred exchange at the heart of this thing that we call the economy. So as if we were one family, let's consider the management of our household in a way that truly honors the labor of our bodies and other bodies, in a way that recognizes the cost and benefit of things other than money, and in a way that recognizes that our values have actual value. And if we're going to open anything, let's start by opening our perception. Let's open our minds, and let's open our hearts.